Hello everyone, Roger Baines here with the Great Central Sun YouTube channel, and I want to thank all of you for tuning in. I also want to thank our new community members, the people that have joined the Great Central Sun YouTube channel, and you have come at the right time, because I'm going to be discussing and putting together a series of videos, probably 3 or 4, that are going to be empowering. And I'm going to be talking about our current situation and what's happening. And this video is going to be the introduction to that. And you want to watch them because it's going to give you the tools and the knowledge that you need to deal with the situation. Because most of us, or many I should say, are talking about the situation in a total position of powerlessness, fear, and dread. And there's nothing to really fear and dread. Lots of things to pay attention to, but nothing to fear. Because every problem that we have that is put on this planet, it's universal law. It cannot be placed here without a solution wrapped up in the middle of the problem. And we've been around for a long time as human beings, and this isn't the first time we've had to overcome something. But now is the time to stand up for yourself and take a stand. And it doesn't mean you have to get into the streets and scream at the top of your lungs and do any of those things. We're going to adjust the way we react to things in a way that cannot be counteracted. And that's true power. And it's the true power that comes from every single one of us. And we can and it's going to unite us. We can be united, or we can do things as the solo single individual to really transform what's going on with us and what's going on the planet right now. And I'm talking about the current situation we find ourselves in. And because, we don't really have to name things all the time. We have to be coy and smarter than the average bear nowadays. And I want to really, really get into this subject, because the real reason for that is not that. Because the issue I'm talking about, this is the trick and the hoodwink and the distraction to keep you away from what's really going on. And that's what we're going to discuss. And not only just discuss it, but what we can do about it. I'm not into making these fearful videos and then leave you right there like there's nothing we can do. I recommend those people just get off of all of these mediums, because they're only serving the very people who have caused all of this to happen, whether they know it or not. Now, today I'm going to start off with talking about the 100th monkey effect, or if you really want to get scientific and technical, the law of critical mass. And what that is and means is, whenever a certain amount of people in a collective, a population, whether it be human beings or animals, start doing something, it automatically becomes the norm for the entire collective, without anybody going to actually tell and teach it to everyone in the collective. If enough of us do something, it automatically becomes a norm, and everyone starts doing it. So, what am I talking about? I'm talking about us being separated from each other. Social distancing. What's the point of that? If you are separated, you can't discuss solutions to problems, can you? And later on, I'll talk about the bones in the other videos. I'll talk right down to the details about that, as simple as it sounds. And I'm going to tell you why this isn't the problem. And I'll just give a hint as to why that is, just so you know you're not wondering after the video, well, why is it a problem? Why don't, you don't have to wait to hear all of the details. I'll give some of it now. The survival rate of that, which I just showed you, is 98%. 98% of the people that come down with that survive. Those are facts. Those, just check the Center for Disease Control. Just check that. The other thing is, we had the AIDS, something called AIDS in the 1990s, the AIDS virus. And there was this big hysteria back then. Some of you probably weren't born. Some of you might remember. Some of you might not. But let me remind you. There was this hysteria about, oh, if you get around someone near them, you'll catch it. Oh, if you live it, you'll catch it. Oh, if they sneeze and you're in the room, you'll catch it. What'd they find out? People living in family members who caught that disease, living with their families never got it. We later found out, as you know now, that the only way you get that, the AIDS virus, is through taking in the fluids of someone that was infected, literally through sex, or basically that's how it spread. Why? Because you're taking in and sharing fluids directly with that person. And that's the only way you caught it. This is no different. This is no different. And 98%, there are more people who are going to die on the streets, homeless, than that. There's no uproar about that. There's no press conferences being held every hour of every day about that. So that's a tidbit I wanted you to know, so you don't become fearful of that, and then put that away in the corner of your mind, and then focus on what's really important. Okay? So, going back to the 100th monkey effect, if enough people do something, it will catch on to the entire collective. So part of the agenda is to establish certain rules, the distancing thing, to separate you, because when you're separated, the divide and conquer rule comes into effect. And then wearing these things on your face, which every time you see it, you're reminded, hey, you need to be doing the same. And all of these rules, and then you have the lackeys or the sheep who give you the eye if you're not quite participating. And you need to let those people know that they need to mind their own business. And you need to call them out right on the spot. Because if you just allow them, they will intimidate people into doing what the authorities want them to do. And next thing you know, what's happened? A hug has become a weapon. An act of love and kindness between human beings has been going on for eons. Now is a weapon. You see? You don't want that kind of, and that's how you get a collective and a group of people to easily change. So if enough people start doing that, then everybody will start doing that. It's called the 100 monkey effect, literally. And it doesn't take 100 monkeys. It doesn't take 100 human beings, just a few of us. So be aware when you're being told you need to do X, Y, Z. And I'm going to justify what I'm talking about in the future videos. Be aware when you're told to behave a certain way, and everyone is being told, be aware that that's a behavioral modification technique going on, so that it's easier to control you. Easier to control you. So that's the start and the kickoff of it. I want you to be familiar with that, because we're going to piggyback off of this and build on it with facts. None of this wild nonsense craziness. Facts that you can check yourself. And just be aware of someone from outside telling you how you should behave. I'm not saying don't violate people's free will. If someone is accepting that and is doing that, don't violate their free will. But within yourself, don't participate in it. If you go to a place and you have to wear the stuff or do whatever you need to do, just do whatever you need to do to get your business done. And when you leave there, you go back to what you believe to be right and just. And you'll get a lot of information here in the next 3 to 4 days, because I make about one video a week. But for this, I'm going to put them one right after the other. One today, one tomorrow, one the next day, to sort of really lay the groundwork to empower all of us. Because if you have the information, you must share it. And you cannot be intimidated by tyranny. That's how you help them. So I'd rather live in a world that's free, truly free, than one governed by tyranny. I don't want to live in that kind of world. I don't want to live in that kind of world. So I'm willing to take all the risks there is to take so that the truth can flow through me, because it's the only way we change anything. So look forward to speaking with you on this, and remember to defy the taboo against finding out who you are. Thanks again.